Hello everyone. It's been about a month and a half since Dragonflight released. The base has been clear by now, renowns are being filled up, and for the first time in forever, I'm actually rolling some alts, since Dragonflight makes it super easy to do so. It does make you wonder, what's next for the expansion? What can we expect for the content and the story?
Tell me,
where do we go from here?
That's what I want to talk about today. Gather some of the data mining information and the hints given in-game. Now for those that didn't catch it yet, Blizzard themselves have also released a roadmap with things to come, which is of course awesome communication. We actually have an idea now as to how the expansion is going to play out. Patch 10.0.5, that will be for the winter period, which brings in the trading post, Primalist tomorrow, and white and grey transmogs. The trading post can be seen in the PTR right now, but I wasn't able to actually test it. From what I gather, this will offer you things to do in-game in order to earn their currency from a variety of activities. With that currency, you can buy some really cool stuff, some that might not even be available in the game anymore. They'll have transmogs on mannequins, pets at their feet, and mounts secured in their stable. If you don't have the currency for an item that you really want, you can decide to freeze it and it won't rotate out with the monthly reset of the goodies. Items that are rotated out of the inventory won't be gone for good either. They'll rotate back into the inventory in future months, which gives players who missed them the first time around another opportunity to add them to their collections. The trading post will also include cosmetics from promotions that are no longer available, as well as items normally available for cash purchase on the in-game store, now as purchasable items with traders' tenders instead. This will provide an alternative way for players to obtain these items, and considering that they made the Fell Drake available for Twitch drops, who knows what kind of items will be found in the trading post. I'm really excited to see what's going to be on rotation and what it is exactly we're going to be doing in order to earn this currency. The Primalist tomorrow, that seemed to be similar to the elemental invasions we have right now, with some different rewards. Don't quote me on that though, I haven't done a whole lot of testing. I'm really hoping there's gonna be more to it than just go into the zone and farm. Would be nice to have a bit of story connected to it as well. It's already past due to find out more about the Primalists, their history, their motivation for signing up with Razagev, how they knew how to release her. The Primalistic future could be a really cool way to dive into all of that, but I got my doubts that we actually will. And then the final bits, white and grey transmogs. As the name implies, white and grey items in the game. They'll become part of our transmog collections, which offer so many new outfit options, which is pretty damn cool. Then patch 10.0.7, that will hit in spring. We return to the Forbidden Reach. We get human and orc heritage armor. And we're gonna get some holiday updates. The return of heritage armor, as we've seen with the other races before, it's now for the flagship races of Warcraft. They usually do get a bit of story. You could go back into human history and we'd be looking at the Kingdom of Arator. Perhaps they'll make it closer to the Fall of Stormwinds. Or hell, we could even track down Anduin. Could make for an interesting event. Orcs could return to Draenor, or Outland as we know it now. Nogram perhaps go back to their roots. Or again, they could bring it a bit closer with a Thrall. Could be nice to hang out with his family, as we haven't done that in a while. The possibilities are of course endless, and time is going to tell. Holiday updates, they speak for themselves. And then returning to the Forbidden Reach. A new quest campaign and repeatable world content set in the Forbidden Reach. As a Dragfear return to the place of confinement, along with some unexpected guests, to learn more about their origins and their destiny. This content will set up the next major chapter of Dragonflight, and by its conclusion, it should be obvious what our next destination must be. The spot where the Dragfear were locked up by Neltharion with the secret aid of his brother Malygos, after the mysterious Titan artifact which allowed him control over the Dragfear was destroyed in his battle with Razagev. The Incarnate was defeated by Neltharion after he embraced the powers of the Void and locked away right here, while the others, they got themselves private Pokeballs within the vault of the Incarnates. That's what we know so far, but there are still so many questions left to be answered, like what exactly was the Titan artifact Neltharion used? Was this Tyr's hand perhaps, and what happened to it? How come the Incarnates were so incredibly powerful, and what happened during the Dragon Wars? How did the Primalists know where to find Razagev and how to set her free? What woke the Dragfear? Was it the same thing that woke up the Dragon House in general? That and so much more could still be explained. Currently, Neltharion's private training grounds, they're covered in lightning. Probably a gift from Razageth, but with the Storm Eater defeated, the lightning will probably pass as well, giving us access once more into whatever direction they might want to take the story. Those big point 1 and patch point 2 storylines with a new zone, new raid, all that good stuff. Right now, I'm seeing two major possibilities, two major storylines and directions they could follow out of all the possibilities. One would be the Murozond storyline, which is connected to the Drakfir starting zone because Arnos Dormu, who showed up here because he could see the Drakfir but not the full story, he dropped this line on them.
You spoke of an ancient enemy's return. It is Razageth and the Primalists. That is why we were awakened.
It seems that Neltharion yet had a purpose for you, but he is gone. You must decide which path you will take.
He never confirms her assumption, nor does he deny it, which had some wonder if the real reason that he came here was not Razageth, but it had something to do with the ancient threat of Murozond, aka Nosdormu himself. Going back to the Forbidden Reach, it could unlock more as to why the Bronze Dragon aspect came here in the first place. Then the second option, that would be going underground. Deal with the other Primal Incarnates first. Razageth is defeated, but not before liberating her siblings. Viranov, the Frozen Heart, Firak the Blazing, and Iridikron, the Stone Scaled.
Razageth's reckless haste cost her life, and they will not make that mistake again. They will regain their strength and choose their next moment carefully.
Then we must take the fight to them. Strike before they are recovered.
That will be difficult. Iridikron's mastery of the earth will harbor them and keep them out of our reach.
What is it about this Iridikron that vexes you so?
Of the three that remain, Viranath and Firak were ever loyal to the Incarnate's ideals. But it was Iridikron who truly embraced the war. The last captured, and the most difficult to contain.
At the end, he struck terrible bargains to keep their cause alive. His violent desperation makes him dangerous. I believe the other Incarnates never knew the true depths of his depravity.
It's hard to say which one will come first. They could decide to wrap up the Primalist storyline and then deal with a potential Murozond, Old God time shenanigans and alternate realities, or they keep the Incarnates away a bit longer, have them recover their powers while we would deal with Murozond, Old God time shenanigans and alternate realities, eventually leading to Galagrond. It's hard to say, but let's gamble. Put our money on Murozond first. So Arnos Dormo, he went to Forbidden Reach in search of forces that could bring him down should the need arise, as well as more information on how Neltharion fell to the old gods. Drakfir do wield an awful lot of time-bending magics, and we still need to cruise the timeways to get our hands on the disc which contains Tyr's memories, the potential key to restoring the aspect's powers. Front and center on this quest through time, there will be...
Yes, Timeless One. I will do exactly what you need me to. I will find another way.
There is none.
Time encompasses all possibilities. You taught me that. I will search every timeline, every moment, until I find a solution to save you.
Chronormu will do our best to find another way. Another path for Nosdormu, beside his moment of demise, as shown to him by Amanful the day he got his powers. Besides the death that we gave him during the Cataclysm, as we killed Murozond to reopen the timeways. One possibility they could go with is that the Titans lie, and that the moment that was shown to him was not actually the true moment of his demise. Rather, it was like an alternate version of himself, his real death lying somewhere else in the future. We do have a conversation alluding to this idea, that an orderly force like the Titans or the Light, they would look for a single path, whereas a darker force, like the Void, they keep an open mind to more possibilities. And the time itself is not supposed to be like one singular linear thing. Or we could go with the idea that Murozond was putting on an act for the sake of the purity of the timeline. If the charge of the Bronze Dragonflight is to make sure the time happens as it's supposed to, and Murozond is the way that Nosdormu is supposed to die, how does that work? Considering Murozond is Nosdormu trying to subvert his mortality, he tries to change the timeline. Time travel headaches, I suppose. But I could see a Moruzand actually teaming up with us, filling in that window slot at the capital, opposite of Nosdormu. Patch 10.1.5, that will be over the summer with a mega dungeon like Tazavesh, Mechagon, or Return to Karazhan before. A big beefy dungeon, maybe something in the domain of the Emerald Dream to deal with the Marifra storyline. Patch 10.1.7 that has more stories and quests as well. We still need to re-empower the aspects, at least that was the Queen's plan and it failed. We're missing the Aid of Tyr after all, and say that we do time travel first, that will give us a chance to get the disc with Tyr's memories, finish off that mission. At the same time, we also need to help out the other flights. We need to decide on who's going to lead the Black Dragonflight, Sibelian, Rephion, or Ebonhorn, who has my votes. Reuniting the Blue Dragonflight family. So far the ones from Legion have showed up, but more could return. Bask in the memory of Sindragosa. Marifra and the Domain of Life. The Seed of the Night Elves and their future locked away within the Emerald Dream. The Vassal of Life disguises treachery. Beware the Eyes of Green. The Bronze, we covered those before, and then Mommy Alexstrasza bringing them all together, re-empowering the aspects to face off against the released incarnates. Season 3, patch 10.2, with a new zone, new raid, and all the things that we'd expect. Now the reason why we're thinking that we're gonna go underground is not only due to Iridikron's powers, and so far being the proto version of Deathwing. We also have a data mine map and a data mine mole creature. Across the Isles, people have found hatches, and the Tales of the Jarden. They describe how 4 ancient Jarden elders, they joined their powers together to burrow deep inside the earth. The legends do not agree what happened down there, but they all end the same way. The elders emerged, touched by the fires of the world to be true Jarden, commanding full control over fire and earth. In turn, the elders empowered all Jarden into the mighty giants we see them as today. Their infusion with the elements might also be the reason why the incarnates are so jacked up, giving the aspects a run for their money. Or it might have been Keeper Tyr experimenting with proto-dragons. That might have something to do with it as well. Robotic Tyr has a lot of explaining to do. Now it is said that the 4 Jarden elders' mastery over the earth and fire, it caught the dragons off guard in those first battles. Dragon after dragon fell, until Neltharion emerged from the Obsidian Citadel with his armies to halt their advance. The elders were hopelessly outnumbered, but the dragons, they were hopelessly outmatched. As the elders battled all challengers with honor, the so-called Warder revealed his cowardice. Through honest guile and trickery, the elders fell that day, but not before they had secured permanent footholds for the Jarden in the surface of these lands. Footholds they still hold to this day. Some say that the elders did not die that day, but retreated deep into the earth, where they slumber and recover their strength. That would make for one heck of an encounter for when we go underground. But would we be satisfied with yet another incarnate fight? Or could they flip it around a bit and get the Mamma Jamma Galagrond back in action?
You will follow him to the deep places. The dark waters will flow in his wake. With many eyes, they will see again. They will drink and be uplifted.
One big threat that they fought defeated so long ago. Once upon a time, the Proto-Dragons united to face off against Galagrond. Could they once again unite with the Dragon aspects to face off against Galagrond? The corruption of the old gods, perhaps Tyr's influence in the experimentations with the Proto-Dragons, and of course, infusing the waters with order magic. There could be a lot of interesting storytelling to be done here. The side of the Primalist, the side of the Incarnates. There's a story to be told, which we haven't gotten yet. What is their point of view? How do they view the world? Like they're against the forced order imposed upon them by the Titans. And who's to say that they're wrong? When you go from a world taken over by the old gods, enslavement to the old gods, to then have the old gods defeated, which is great, fantastic, but to then be locked away within the elemental planes and be forced to follow the path of order. For them, for the Primalist, one is just similar to the others, right? And I'm still waiting for Dragonflight to tell that story as well. And that's not all that they're hinting on the Dragon Isles. We got some weird runestones, there's the Locust from Neltharion. So far, we got no sign of Magatha Grimtotem or the Elemental Lords. Magatha, because of her student leading the charge, kicking all of this off. And the Elemental Lords, well, the elements play a huge part in the storyline, and so far, they're not even mentioned yet. Plenty of stuff still to come, and I'm sure that I've forgotten quite a bit. If you got any nice finds or tidbits or things that you found in the expansion, by all means, let me know. But for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. And until next time, see ya!